When it comes to cinematic vampires, there are usually one of two archetypes in play. The suave and erotic variety stems from Bela Lugosi's iconic portrayal in Todd Browning's 1931 classic Dracula, fueling characters like Christopher Lee's Hammer horror interpretation, Sesame Street's Count, and Matt Berry's Laszlo Cravensworth in What We Do in the Shadows. Before that, however, audiences received the far more frightening visage of vamps of the Nosferatu style, based on Max Schreck's otherworldly turn in 1922's Nosferatu, A Symphony of Horror, an unlicensed adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Its influence has bled into direct remakes like 1979's Werner Herzog outing Nosferatu the Vampire, and 2000's meta-masterpiece Shadow of the Vampire. Here, vampires may be lovelorn or carnal, but they're often more menacing, powerful, and otherworldly, frequently adorned with inhuman light skin, gnarly teeth, and the like. In 2024's Nosferatu, we get a count of a vastly different visage. Robert Eggers may have intended to direct his passion project Nosferatu immediately following his excellent 2015 horror outing The Witch, but you can't keep a good vampire down. As the film's eerie marketing campaign continues to remind us, he is, finally, coming. It's a perfect fit for Eggers' filmography, given both his longtime love for the classic 1922 film and his penchant for frightening and magical historical tales like The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. The film is also a masterful exhibit of the cast's range, with Lily Rose Depp, Bill Skarsgård, and Nicholas Hoult turning in magnificent performances. A moody, stunning visual masterpiece, it's the best horror film of the year and easily one of 2024's best overall. Ellen Hutter, Lily Rose Depp, is a troubled young woman long plagued with anxieties, bad dreams, and an oddly intuitive nature since she was young. Her husband, Thomas, Nicholas Hoult, is contracted to land a large deal at work, finding a new residence for the secretive Transylvanian Count Orlok, Bill Skarsgård. Thomas comes to realize that the Count has different plans, ones that involve Ellen, over whom he has a mysterious pull. As Orlok's predatory influence comes closer to their city, the Hutters, Dr. Wilhelm Sievers, Ralph Inessen, and alchemist Professor Albin Eberhard von Franz, Willem Dafoe, have to find a way to combat Orlok's growing power before it's too late. It's a rather stunning reinterpretation of a classic and influential set of films. In the original, Ellen Hutter, Greta Schroeder, is a pure-souled subject to Nosferatu's whims, sleepwalking with affected dreams, and her sacrifice to Nosferatu is effective because she is supposedly pure-hearted, an archaic notion that makes 1922's Ellen a passive character that fits in a more oppressive era, decidedly unlike Eggers' Ellen. Ellen is decidedly different in Werner Herzog's Nosferatu the Vampire, here named Lucy Harker, Isabella Johnny. This iteration sees Lucy in a similar spot to Ellen, plagued by nightmarish visions of the titular monster. As her husband, Jonathan Harker, Bruno Ganz, is increasingly subject to Nosferatu's growing whims, Lucy is much more of an activist. She approaches the townspeople to oppose the entity to no avail. Eggers' Ellen, by contrast, is an isolated victim of an abusive supernatural relationship, solely taking on responsibility for the destruction of the beast. It's a streamlined, modern variant of the classic protagonist, given more agency and supernatural prowess than earlier variants have allowed. The core of Nosferatu centers on the relationship between the Count and Ellen. From Ellen's side, we immediately come to discover that the kind, anxious young woman has a mysterious past and a thing for the baddest of bad boys. Skarsgård is genuinely unrecognizable as the Count, a novel Nosferatu characterization complete with a mysterious, unique European accent and a domineering presence. It's an incredible transformation, cementing the fact that Skarsgård should be recognized as one of our most versatile actors. Equal to the task is Lily Rose Depp, who easily slides between innocent, erotic, and terrifying in one of the year's best performances. Filling out the central trio is Nicholas Hoult, who is excellent and layered as the kind, initially weak, and ultimately committed besieged husband. It's a strong cast, from the core to supporting players.
Come to me.
Alright folks. Listen up. If you are enjoying the content of this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and give the video a good old-fashioned thumbs up. Let's show the creators some love. Cinematographer Jaron Blaschke once again delivers exceptional work. Light and shadow are given incredible personality, echoing the 1922 original's emphasis on Nosferatu's own shadow and its ability to engulf you like a demonic nightmare, to quote Murnau's classic. In the original, said shadow powerfully but somewhat ambiguously signals his presence. Here, it explicitly goes beyond his physical form as an extension of his being and a sign of his power and control, creating a foreboding sense of palpable dread as he creeps along a door or glides across the cityscape. The landscapes are beautiful and isolated, castles are otherworldly and dangerous, and each shot boasts meticulous composition and staging. It's a gorgeously detailed film with stunningly rich production design, all contributing to a magnificently oppressive atmosphere as Count Orlok comes to secure his hold over Ellen. It's a faithful reinterpretation, and Eggers' version hits many elements of the original, such as the Count's obsession with Ellen, his power over her, and Ellen's final plan. But this iteration foregrounds Ellen's agency and the implicit erotic elements to useful effect. It was her lonely desperation, perhaps combined with unique spiritualist powers, that woke Nosferatu from his initial slumber, and there's an unholy mutual erotic obsession that she shares. The expansion of Ellen's agency and psychology is much darker than the original, which requires the sacrifice of a woman pure of heart, not a vibrant young woman whose libido yearns for the abomination she woke from the darkness. This thematic evolution is also consistent with elements of traditional Christian demonology, which frequently held that women were more susceptible to demonic forces and bringing them into the community. The overall importance of this pivot isn't that it allows more sex and eroticism, though it does, but that it sees Nosferatu explore issues around women's sexual agency and its literal demonization in ways the original doesn't. Altogether, it's a masterful and engaging film, packing a full, rich story into its relatively long by horror standards runtime. This isn't to say that it is completely devoid of flaws. There are moments where the overall excellent Aaron Taylor Johnson feels a little out of place as Friedrich Harding. Additionally, there are many scenes where the editing could be honed for maximum effect. Several scenes are cut a few frames short when lingering on the visuals and performances would be welcome. Length aside, there are times when it moves slightly too fast and one might wish for a few more minutes. No new shots, simply a little more space for the film's treacherous air to breathe. That said, the film is a technical marvel, boasting both inspired direction and some of the year's best performances. Robert Eggers creates a magnificently oppressive horror phenomenon with Nosferatu, the titular count here portrayed as a hungry, predatory, libidinous ID, embodied with obsessive menace by Bill Skarsgård. This interpretation feels at home in the company of Nosferatus who have gone before, expanding on and creating a unique and memorable visage for the Count. Eggers' Nosferatu lovingly takes many elements and thematic pieces from the original and evolves and expands almost every aspect. Thematically, foregrounding Ellen's agency adds an intriguing exploration of desperate erotic desire, vulnerability, and obsession, and Eggers makes full use of these elements. It's a wonderful display of performative talent, creating a world rich with detail and an atmosphere so palpable that it practically lingers on the skin. The result is a truly frightening adaptation that maintains a pervasive feeling of perpetual, otherworldly dread. Nosferatu is an excellent horror outing by a director at the height of his powers, and one of the year's finest films. Pros: Robert Eggers brings a fully realized vision to Nosferatu, creating a palpable sense of dread and real feeling of stakes throughout. The entire cast gives excellent performances, and Lily Rose Depp is magnificent while Bill Skarsgård thoroughly transforms into the vampire count himself. Brilliantly detailed production design and excellent cinematography contribute towards one of the year's best-looking films. Cons: the film's editing rushes the pacing at times, and quite a few scenes and segments would be more effective still if given more room to breathe.
Its desire is to consume all life on Earth.